Installed for extra space. Not as a OS boot drive. Speeds are comparable to the more expensive M.2 SSDs at half the price. Only a week into owning it but super happy with the product. Pretty standard PC build. ASRock B350 Gaming K4 Mobo AMD Ryzen 5 2600 CPU OCD4. 1 MSI GeForce GTX 1050 T 2x4 GB Skill Ripjaws DDR4 3200 if RGB closed loop C. In image 1 is the Silicon Power 1TB Gen3x4. Image 2 is my Samsung 850 EVO 500GB 2. 5 inches SATA SSD for a side-by-side comparison. Well, if you could call it a comparison. This completely obliterated it. Then is on a GB Aorus Elite X570ATX motherboard with a Ryzen 7 3700X CPU. Running Windows 10 64-bit update 18363. 592. I'm using the board's included M.2 heatsink. The NVMe drive sits just above a rather warm Gigabyte R9 390. Thermals have stayed manageable and speeds have been as expected with no issues. I moved my Arch Linux installation to a little over half of the NVMe and it's running exceptionally well. You can see from the third image that the NVMe ran cooler than the 2.5 inches Samsung SSD. M.2s can benefit a lot from the airflow of being on the motherboard rather than in the PSU shroud or behind the motherboard panel, where a traditional 2.5 inches drive would often find itself. I have it installed in an NZXT H510 case with 3x 120mm PWM fans, 1800 RPM max, and 1x stop 120mm DC/W voltage control fan, 1500 RPM max. Fans are configured for a positive pressure, with the rear PWM fan as exhaust, single top DC fan as intake over the CPU, and 2 front PWM fans as intake. The Samsung SSD is behind the motherboard panel and installed on a modular tray. I've been using the drives for various tasks throughout the day, including the Crystal Disk Mark 6.0 bench. HW monitor was up and recording max temps during that time. Verdict: buy. A recommended improvement. The speed is good and the change from HDD to SSD is noticeable at the first start. I have used these on 2 different builds and will be using it on a third. If I help anyone build in the future, I will recommend these. I was kind of sketched out at first because I had never heard of the company. After research I realized their USA subsidiary is also in the Bay Area and they are an international company with a good reputation on their memory lines. I have had my M.2 going on a year now, maybe more, and I will never go back to another company. Fire CUDA, Seagate's performance line, doesn't come close to the read/write speeds of these M.2. Installs extremely easy. Looks amazing since it's powered directly on the motherboard, no cables. And when I tested the speeds I was getting over 3 gigabits per second reads. Would purchase again in a heartbeat. 400 megabytes per second read, 3000 MB/s write verified on Crystal Disk Mark running on Core i7-8700K with Z370 motherboard form factor, M.2 2280 double-sided interface, C3, 0x4 NVMe 3 controller, Phison PS5012E12 non-flash, Toshiba 256GB 64 liters 3D TLC. Click link in description for more reviews.